decision maker, England was paralysed. Who would act in his name? Queen Margaret, her position immeasurably strengthened as mother of the heir, put herself forward as Queen Regent. But Margaret commanded little support amongst the lords, who instead nominated the Duke of York, the man that Margaret most feared as protector and defender of England. And Margaret had good reason to fear York. Based in his stronghold at Ludlow, York was head of the most powerful family in the country, and as a relation of the king, he also had a blood claim to the throne. The events of the usurpation 50 years previously were about to be replayed. In 1399, Henry's grandfather, Henry IV, had shown that a blood claim and force were all that were needed to seize the crown. Now York would turn the tables on the House of Lancaster. In 1460, his followers defeated and captured the king, and in the ensuing Parliament, York formally laid claim to the throne. The claim was greeted with a shocked silence, because no one, not even York's followers, wanted a repetition of the usurpation of 1399. So York was forced to accept a compromise. Henry would remain king whilst he lived, and York would succeed only after his death. But everybody reckoned without Queen Margaret's ferocious mother love. Margaret refused to see her son's inheritance forfeit and broke the truce when she led her forces against York. Margaret was victorious, York killed in battle, and his head displayed on the walls of York. But the feeble-witted Henry VI was held in widespread contempt. Margaret was unpopular, especially in the south, where London shut its gates against her. This gave York's son Edward the opportunity to avenge his father's death. He seized the throne and ruled as King Edward IV. Henry was captured and Margaret fled into exile. It took Edward 3 years to put down the Lancastrians in the north. Then his own followers started to quarrel over the spoils. Even Edward's brother turned against him. These divisions within the House of York handed the House of Lancaster a last chance. Its hopes were pinned on one young man. In 1471, Henry VI and Margaret's son, Edward of Lancaster, was 18. Energetic and courageous, he'd inherited his grandfather's drive and his mother's will. Was he to be another Henry V? And would he revive the Lancastrian cause? The two Edwards, the Lancastrian prince and the Yorkist king, met here at Tewkesbury. The result was a total, and it turned out, final defeat for the House of Lancaster. Prince Edward was butchered on the battlefield and buried here in the Abbey. And a fortnight later, his father, King Henry VI, was dispatched with a heavy blow to the back of the head in the Tower. Even 400 years later, the hair could still be seen matted to the skull. With their deaths, the male line of the House of Lancaster, which had promised to revive the monarchy, was extinguished. The House of York made similar, even more extravagant promises. Would it be able to keep them? Or was it more than a matter of mere personalities? Would the institutions of English kingship, fashioned under the Anglo-Saxons and perfected under the Henrys and the Edwards, have to change as well? Was England on the threshold, not merely of a new dynasty, but of a new monarchy?